Hi guys, so this is Missy or Melissa, whatever you really want to call me. Um, I just wanted to make this video because I think it's really helpful. I've watched so many of these videos and I think it's really nice having a perspective from a person who's actually going into cosmetology, really set on it and knows the facts about cosmetology. So this is kind of so you want to go to cosmetology school, information about it, and just my 2 cents. I'm not, obviously, I haven't even started cosmetology school, so I can't tell you what it's going to be like. Had a misconception also with what cosmetology school is and what exactly you'll be learning. So obviously cosmetology school is a school kind of for hairdressing, beauty, all mixed into one, but I think a big misconception for a lot of people when they think, oh, I'm going to go to cosmetology school, is that you will be able to learn full makeup courses or full nail courses or full waxing courses. Of course you're going to learn a good amount. Obviously you have to pass a state board test on all of these topics, but the main purpose of cosmetology school, or at least the main focus, is actually hair coloring, hair styling, the anatomy of it, everything behind that. So if you are really set, you want to be a makeup artist, makeup, like you don't even care about hair, I would go to a makeup academy, get your makeup artist, go through those courses because those are going to be specific to what you are learning. If you have the money to go to cosmetology school and then a makeup academy, go for it. But, if you specifically want to do nails, then there's actually nail courses just specific to that, or waxing, or just makeup. There's specific courses at multiple locations, community colleges, everywhere, that actually you can get certified and get a really rounded background in it. So that's a big misconception I think a lot of people have. I know I did at first, just being like a freshman. I was like, I'll be a cosmetologist and I'll know everything about makeup. I'll know everything about hair. I'll know everything. You're going to know a lot, of course, but it's the main focus is definitely hair. How to know you are sure you want to go to cosmetology school. A lot of people, like me, if you didn't really excel in school, like I did fine in school. I could have gone to college and everything. It's just, it was nothing stood out to me besides like my photography classes or choir or, those extracurriculars or just creativity classes. Nothing really stood out to me being like, this is what I want to do. I think a lot of people, especially girls or, think, okay, cosmetology. It's not just something you can jump into. You really need to be certain. If you're going to a real cosmetology school or even just a community college, you're spending money like out of your pocket. Whether you get financial aid or not, it's money. Like if somebody covers it, awesome. But it's somebody's money and you can't just jump into something that you're not sure of. Like I was going to go to actually FINM. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the school. I've always been interested in fashion. As you guys know, my channel is fashion, makeup, everything. I was actually going to go to be a visual communications major at FINM. And, it would have been great, and I've heard great things about FINM, and I've heard bad things about FINM, but it was very, very expensive. Obviously, it's prestigious school for the industry that it's in, so of course it's going to be more pricey. I'm the type of person, I was like, I can't do this. I was so set, and then I was like, no. The reason why I said no is because I knew if there was even like a doubt in my mind that I couldn't do this, then I don't want to waste that much money on it. So you need to be really sure. You need to research it, know the facts, know what this industry has to offer. You need to really just go into it, dive into it. Literally all I've been doing for months now is just research. And I've really just come to the conclusion this is what I want to do. Even just telling people, like they're like, oh, you're going to do cosmetology school. It doesn't matter to me because I'm like, yeah, I am. This is what I want to do. I want to do hair. I want to do, beauty, makeup, fashion, whatever. This whole industry is great. but I want to focus on hair, so that's obviously why I'm going to cosmetology school. I want to work in a salon or whatever, who knows what the future holds, but this is what I want to do. So you need to just make sure you're certain. So once you're certain, you want to go and check out some schools. So I would research in your area. If you are either a mom and you can't go full time, or you just really don't have the money, there's great courses at community colleges. The great thing about community college is they have smaller classes. So you're going to get more of a focus from the teacher. But if you do have the means to go to a cosmetology school, I do recommend it, just because you can get everything out of the way, you get that salon experience, and I just think it's a great opportunity, and if you can commit to it and go through with it, then if you're able to, I would recommend it. I mean, honestly, I would go to their website, research everything on there. Some of the websites actually do share how much the tuition is. So if tuition's a big issue with you, and let's say you don't make a good amount of money, who knows what your situation is. Everyone's different, of course. If you're not a dependent of your parents anymore, you can actually get great financial aid. The great thing about the government is there is financial aid. Most of the time people do get it. So, I would always apply for FAFSA, and, wherever you are, just apply for financial aid, see your options. But I heard wonders about community college courses. You obviously will practice for your state board, probably a good amount of time compared to the places where they do more salon techniques. So, it's just a matter of where you want to go. So you need to research into that. Once you're really set where you want to go, whether it's, cosmetology at a community college, or, which you obviously just need to sign up for there. I don't know if you can actually tour there. I'm not, I obviously didn't get to do that with mine, but if you are choosing to go to cosmetology school, touring is probably the most important thing you can do. Just for touring purposes, go to the website, research everything that you can, and then actually sign up for getting more information. From there, you'll actually get contacted by an admissions advisor who, honestly, they're there to sell it to you. So they'll be like, oh, let's set up your tour, and if you're in a rush like I was, you need to make it work. So I told them, this is my schedule, this is when I need to come, and, they worked around my schedule. So visiting the school, I think, is a very important thing. You're going to really get the vibes of the place, as long as they give you a great tour. I mean, if you're there when no one's there, I think it's great to actually be, hi Katie, I think it's great to actually be there when students are, because you can actually see the vibes of the students, you can see how the instructors are helping them, and just how the studio, or not studio, the salon environment or the classroom environments are. It's just really great to get a feel for it. So I recommend you try to go during the day, or, some places actually do offer night courses, so regardless, whenever students are there, it's probably the best idea. So going there, talking to them, some places have admissions where you actually have to get accepted. Some do not. Well, they all technically have to accept you, but some are more lenient, like they kind of just want you to get you through the door. Some people actually care, and they're going to take you the time to be like, why do you want this? So I would prepare yourself for those tours, just being really prepared for those answers, just letting them know, this is what I want to do. Like, you need to have that confidence when you're going in. If you're timid about it and not very sure, then they're not going to be very sure if this is what you want to do. And they actually are there to help you. A lot of school, like I know Aveda and Paul Mitchell, they aren't really pushy about getting you through the door, at least for the location I was at, unless you really want it. So, but that tour process, you're going to get a great feel, but you want to just prepare yourself for those answers. As long as you're confident this is what you want to do, you should be great. Some places have admission essays. Some places have admissions exams. Some you need recommendation letters. So you really do need to allot the time. Like if it's like let's say the course is supposed to start February 20th, and it's February 14th, getting your financial aid and everything in, and then also let's say if you need a recommendation letter and everything, be realistic about it. So you can't rush it. It's something you need to be sure about. Next process is deciding where you want to go. So off those vibes, some schools, my personal experience, I'm going to go to my personal experience afterwards just so I can give a brief overview, but some places you're going to get a really great vibe. Some places you're going to look at the location and be like, this is gorgeous and I want to go here because of that. But you need to do it based off of how your vibes were, the research you've done, and you can't just base it off of a shiny studio because that's definitely what happened to me visiting one of the locations I visited. So you really need to get your vibes and just think what works for you. So you kind of will know. A lot of people say you will know, but it's hard. It's a hard decision. So really just decide, a good thing to decide is locations. Obviously, if it's really far away from you, you're going to have to commit to driving there every day, depending on your schedule. If it's 5 days a week, if it's 2 hours away, you need to be realistic. But the great thing about these schools is you actually can carpool with people. There are a lot of people coming from every which location. So there's carpool opportunities. Parking's going to be a B also, by the way, for if you live in a big city, near a big city like I do. So you need to plan accordingly. You can't just, go in with a blind eye. You need to ask them questions when you go to these tours. You need to get what you need to know, and you need to collect it. You need to research too. You need to go onto the web, see reviews about those schools if possible. Just even see their Yelp reviews for the salon and see if people like that they're learning. If they're getting good reviews, that's a good chance that, it's a nice school. So, I really recommend you go into it just being smart because obviously, let's say you were marrying someone, you would want to know everything about them before marrying someone. With a school, it's just this big commitment. You are giving over so much money in trade for a career. So, or, if it's community college, you want to research and make sure those courses are great because again, you're giving over money for a career.